and welcome to ReelTime. ReelTime.
Okay.
Right, and this week we're going to be talking about adaptations.
Yes, films that are made from books. They could be comic books, they could be TV shows, or other films.
Or someone's tragic life story.
Yeah, real life stories, because they're all taking a story that's already there and turning it to the big screen. Yes, we believe that the process of trying to get an original script made sort of goes like this. Money, money, money. Ah, Mr. Stewart, please have a seat.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear about how you're going to make me millions of dollars. So,
Right.
what's the idea?
Right, sir, I think you'd really like this idea. It is a horror about a young girl that is tragically murdered in a car accident and then goes back to haunt her killer.
Sounds good. Who's the author?
This is not an adaptation. It's a completely original idea.
Get out of my office!
That's pretty much Hollywood in a nutshell.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, so many times you see a film at the cinema and you think this is a really good film, and then you find out that it is actually an adaptation of something, and it doesn't take away sort of how good a film is, but it does kind of make you think, where are the original films?
It always makes me feel stupid because when I see something and don't originally know it was adapted from something, I'm like, wow, that director and writer and stuff, they were very creative. I really like the ideas they went with that.
Yeah.
10 minutes later I go to Waterstones. Oh, look at that, it was a book.
So you could say that adapting films is a sort of an easy way of getting a film idea. You find like a book that's doing well and you think, we'll buy the rights to the book and then we'll write a script around
And with
it.
that, you've got a target audience.
Yeah.
I mean, the genius decided, I'm going to turn the whole Harry Potter franchise into a film. He knew what he was smoking then. Like literally, he had his audience. Harry Potter was a huge phenomenon, even just as a book on its own. So he managed to get all the readers' attention, let alone all the new audience. Like, I mean, I read Harry Potter books after the films came out, so my first experience was the films. So then there's new audience dragged in like me, and there you go. You just created an even bigger fan base for Harry smudging Potter.
So if you think about it, the basis of a really good adapted film is to take the source material, keep true to it, and only change things that are necessary to turn it into a film. Because
However,
for me, it takes quite a few weeks to get through a book because I'm a bit of a slow reader, whereas in a film you've got to sum all that up in 2 hours, so you have to make changes. You can't do it like completely to the source material.
However, you do need to add that you will always get the fan going, oh my god, they didn't add that bit, oh no! Or they changed that, he was supposed to be a woman in this scene. Or just stuff like, because films need to be changed, because you can't just put in a whole book. I mean, look at Deathly Hallows. They decided they didn't want to change and remove parts, so they cut it into 2 pieces.
Which I thought was good.
It was good.
Most people really don't like it. I thought it was a good idea.
It was good, but depending on the film, Twilight Part 1 and 2 of Breaking Dawn, it doesn't need to be broken up into 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just money making, really.
Yeah, that was a real
breaks
money
it into
grab.
2.
Which is, I suppose, one of the gambles you have with movie adaptations, is that even though you've already got a fan base that you're aiming at, you've also got a hell of a lot of people that you can anger with it. God, can you imagine what the Doctor Who movie's going to be like? They're going to be attacking each other like nothing else.
Well,
the Doctor's so old.
Well, I think it's a strict rule that you do not insult Whovians, because I think our necks could be on the line.
Yes.
But I mean, we love all Whovians, even the ones that insult each other for having their own opinions.
Yes.
And this video is not now probably going to get us a lot of hate, but of course you all love each other, right? Because fans are meant to love each other. Friends for life, no life, for life, it's for life.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, we're not having a go at movie adaptations. Most of my favourite movies are adapted from books.
They're brilliant. I mean, there's loads of brilliant adaptations out there, and like, you can't call them lazy if they do a good job.
The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Green Mile, The Shawshank Redemption. There are so many films that are adapted from books. Some of the greatest films of all time.
Exactly.
Any favourites of yours?
My favourite has to be, it's probably going to have to be Scott Pilgrim. 6 novels adapted into 1 film, and even though all the novels won out at the time, Edgar Wright has created his own ending and it worked.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like they were trying to cram like a whole TV series into one film.
No,
I mean, who'd do something like that? I wonder.
Oh God, no! I'd have no clue who would do something like that. One TV series into a whole film.
Who would do something like that? And today we're gonna talk about films that didn't do it so well,
Or just films that we just don't like.
Yeah.
Quite frankly,
Yeah.
I know even though those people, there are some fans out there that will like it. We just don't agree with your opinion. But you're a human being and you have the right to an opinion. Just our one is better.
I'm gonna kick this off, okay, with something from my childhood. I loved Thomas the Tank Engine when I was a child.
Oh, Thomas the Tank Engine! I used to have Thomas the Tank Engine light shade, bed sheets. I am actually not genuinely kidding. Mum, you always watch my videos. Please comment below saying that I had Thomas the Tank Engine bed sheets. You know, but I need this proof.
Go on, Mum, do it likewise. But when they made Thomas and the Magic Railroad,
Where Matilda got fat.
who the hell's Matilda?
I can't remember the actress's name, but she played Matilda in the film Matilda, which is also adapted from a Roald Dahl book.
Oh yeah, and this had Alec Baldwin in it, and you'd think that it might have been a good idea, but it's a typical example of the American production company taking a British show and just...
It was never going to be a good idea.
No.
Thomas the Tank Engine is fun for little not babies, for small children, because the stories are simple, they have a bit of an educational value. You can't turn that into a movie and add like some villain at these trains that can't even leave the train tracks have to fight.
I know. It's good for 10-minute episodes.
And the fat conductor wasn't even that fat.
No, he wasn't that fat. Another adaptation I distinctly remember thinking it was too stupid to be true is the Scooby-Doo movie they did like 10 years ago. Oh my god. But it's just that like, when you see stuff like Scooby-Doo and you see live action people who are dressed exactly like the cartoon characters, it just doesn't work. It's like
they're not so not characters.
If Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg decided to make that a live action film, can you imagine how odd it would have looked if it was all live action? They did the adaptation perfectly. Another TV adaptation that I can't really remember much about, only that it was terrible, was the Thunderbirds movie.
Oh, the Thunderbirds movie.
I loved Thunderbirds as a kid. It was one of my favourite things to watch. And when you look back at them now, they were so mature. It was like, wow, this is intense storyline stuff. But the film was so stupid.
We want to know more about adaptations. Anything adapted from a video game is terrible. Like, has anyone seen the Hitman movie?
They did a Hitman movie?
They did. I mean, the setting's perfect. An agent with like a background not known.
A bald head.
You know, bald head. He assassinates people near perfectly. You know, and does stuff like takes their costumes and sneaks into territories, you know, undetected. I mean, there was so much they could go for. And like, there's people hunting him down. There was so much story that could be driven from that. But then we just had... Well, I don't like to talk about it, but let's just say they grabbed Hitman, they grabbed the concept, but executed it beyond poorly. It wasn't about an agent that was being hunted down or anything, and it wasn't even about assassinating most of the time. And then there's the Prince of Persia movie, which is slightly better than Hitman.
Slightly better. It wasn't a god-awful movie.
The characters actually looked slightly right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't actually think of a video game adaptation which has actually worked, because I think they're doing an Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender, which I've got high hopes for because it's a good story and a good actor.
There's been talk of a Halo movie that's been like, I think Peter Jackson wants to do it.
Peter Jackson wanted to do it.
But like, I haven't heard anything from it.
No, they're making an Uncharted movie.
You know what, I really want to see that.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
There's the Lara Croft films as well, the Tomb Raider films.
Yeah, those are pretty bad.
I mean, I liked him as a kid actually, because I played Tomb Raider as a kid and I was like, oh my god, a video game's into a movie! It's like that LucasAid advert! But then there was the first one, which, you know what, I think was probably partly enjoyable, because the characters were good and Angelina Jolie did play Lara Croft quite well.
She's Angelina Jolie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the boobs were triangles, that was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Any PS1 Tomb Raider fan knew the boobs had to be triangle.
Here's proof. Triangular boobies. Amazing. So, as we stated earlier on in the episode, the adaptations could also be from biopic events, you know, where you take a real event and you turn it into a film. We're going to talk about an example which we really don't like, but women love.
They adore it. And we're going to give you a giant clue. It's about a big boat and a big...
Carry on talking. Hey, see
and a giant piece of ice that would have made for a very good slush machine. This is Titanic, guys, and the audience reaction.
Oh my god, this is going to be horrible.
I can't wait for this film, it's going to be so amazing!
When are they going to sink?
Oh my god! They're in love!
So far, the iceberg's still my favourite character.
He loves her so much!
Oh, Kate Winslet's boobs, that's something.
The boat is sinking. No! They're in love!
Can't they both fit on the wood?
He's dead! He's dead!
Why does she let him die?
I wish I had hands, but they're up my top.
Still a better love story than Twilight, though.
Well, I think we just need to add, the problem with Twilight is it's a poor film adapted from a very poor book by Stephanie Meyers.
So you could almost say that it's actually a good adaptation of a very poor novel, which actually accumulated into a very bad movie, which could be considered a bad adaptation. But then, if it was a bad adaptation, then it would have been a good movie.
So if this is a good adaptation but still a bad film, then the quality of the book must be like lower than poop.
Yeah, it's got to be lower than poop. And just to show how I personally have a vendetta against Stephanie Meyer, here is our adaptation of my reaction to watching the trailer for The Host.
Based on a true story.
Oh wow, this movie actually looks quite interesting. Oh yeah, humans that are taken over by robots. Oh cool. What's this? I hate it! Ah! So anyway, now we come to the part of the video where we're going to talk about two films each that have personally angered us so much.
Like, you know, there's like a film you don't like, but then there's that film that you just want to punch in the balls and in the face and then rip their shins off because they're that atrocious.
Yes. Carl, would you like to kick this one off?
Right. The film I'm going to talk about is M. Night Shyamalan's adaptation of the anime Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Or just The Last Airbender, because James Cameron bought the rights to Avatar. Thanks so much for that, you did such a good job.
If it was actually a good film, I would be insulted right now, but I'm not. So well done, James Cameron. Your blue people have helped us once again.
Intergalactic Smurfs.
But anyway, yes, as I said, The Last Airbender is based off the anime Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it tells the people of different nations that have different elemental powers, and then a character known as the Airbender who comes in and can use all of them. Aang, who's Aang, who can use all of them. The concept is simple. 4 nations, they're at war, different powers, one that seems to be able to use all the powers and is going to be like that, that saving hope for the world. You know what, adapting that into a film is actually be quite easy. I mean, you've got a lot to run there, and you could easily make a trilogy out of something.
And you got so much potential for it because the TV show is brilliant.
And the anime is a really good anime. I mean, I highly recommend people watch it. It's Japanese or the original dub. Just give it a watch. It's actually really funny.
But M. Night Shyamalan, what the hell did he do to it?
It's kind of like he didn't want the film to do well at all.
Oh.
He got children that couldn't act. I mean, for Christ out loud, I've got to watch Aang for 2 hours in this god-awful adaptation, and he can't even act. God, you know what? It's literally, the only thing he could do was point his hand down and go, yep, no, that's right, kid. That's right, you're using wind powers at the moment. Yep, keep out that.
The CGI...
I don't know what I'm doing.
The CGI will make everything better.
The CGI is terrible.
Oh, the acting is bad by child actors' standards. It's appalling.
The multi-race bender, as I like to call it, took us off. It was just terrible. Even by a child's standard, it was, not a good film. What I wanted to see was, I wanted to see the comedic side that the anime is loved for. I wanted to see the characters and their personalities. I want the fight scenes as well, because the fights made the anime really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Aang as well is a really interesting character and how he learns and grows, because he's quite childish at heart, but then he has that deep serious side with, his friends are hurt and stuff like that. But that wasn't portrayed at all in the movie. He was just this god-awful, serious kid, and if he was trying to be light-hearted, he could have fooled me, okay, because he could not act light-hearted.
It's good you got that all out. Nice one.
Anyway, yeah, so overall, shit film, -3 stars, damn. Watch the anime, 4 stars, damn.
So damn.
There you go, that's my opinion on Avatar: The Last Airbender. The Last Airbender.
My most hated film adaptation of a book.
Aragon.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's that film that was meant to have like 3 sequels because there was 3 books afterwards, but what happened?
That didn't happen because they made the film before the book series was done. Not a good idea. I've been wanting a good dragon movie for so long, and I'm not faulting the animation of Saphira. She's actually animated really well. But my god, the acting is so bad. And you've got Rachel Weisz and Jeremy Irons, and they both put in really bad performances. But it's just, the film is such a rip-off of Lord of the Rings, it's untrue. And then I read the book, and it just made it even worse.
I've never read Aragon, so could you just give me one example of a difference from the film to the books? I've only seen the film.
Well, Aragorn has a cousin in the book called Roran, and basically in the film, he leaves at the start of the movie because he's joining the Empire. He's becoming a soldier. I'm just going to
Star Wars comparison.
I'm just going to call it the Empire because that's what it is. And basically, he joins the army there. In the book, he leaves to avoid the Empire, and later on joins up with the rebels and fights the Empire. So the movie has just taken a very important plot point for the later books and just completely changed it, which probably explains why the hell they couldn't make another movie.
There probably wasn't much communication between the author and the book, and the author and the director.
My god, though, it's just so bad.
Anyway, the worst adaptation for me in all time, though, and this is going from a child that has some serious child nostalgia to an adult. And let's roll the theme tune. That's right, if anyone knows this tune, and if you don't, you're a Burke. I'm talking about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And what is wrong with this? You can stop now, Rob, you can stop now. Catch a tune, I know. Yeah, so I'm talking about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, most hated adaptation of a film ever. Right, so...
A video game, you mean?
Well, just adaptation, yeah, video game adaptation. Right, and what's so bad about it? Right. The Mushroom Kingdom is a suburb. It's an urban culture underground.
Oh my god, I've not even seen this movie and I'm hating it already.
It's a dark, desolate place. Now, what is the original Mushroom Kingdom like? For anyone that knows, bright, colourful, everything has bloody eyes. It's just gorgeous. You know, it's a nice, lush land that you can, that can only be caught in an imagination of someone.
Yeah, Sunshine Rainbow Land.
But this is just a suburban, dark buildings, tall fins, and quite frankly, that's the biggest problem. Also, Mario and Luigi, the only things that seem to be caught on straight because they're plumbers from Brooklyn, which is actually quite true to Mario's origins. But what's bad is, it's not even Mario's film. Luigi's a star in this one. For Peach is not existent in this film. It's about a princess called Daisy. And while she is in the games, she wasn't never a main focal point, and she just serves a point in this film to be Luigi's love interest. And it gets worse. It gets worse. Bowser is not a giant turtle, dinosaur, dragon, or whatever he is in the games. He is not the king of the Koopas. He is a human. A human with a gun that can turn people, if I recall correctly, into Goombas. And that's quite it. And heck, the Mario Bros don't even wear the iconic costumes for most of the film. That's not even until the end. And God, Yoshi. Yoshi just looks like... Yeah, if I can get a picture of Yoshi here, that would be brilliant.
What does he look like?
Well, let's put it this way. He looks like a giant reptile that looks at people with the eyes of, please kill me! I'm suffering! I've been like this for too many years and I've lost the will to live. He just looks like someone who wants to be shot in the head. He's that hideous.
Sounds like me after watching Titanic.
So I could rant on about this film for ages and I'm wasting time.
I feel quite fortunate now that I haven't watched it.
I need to show you a review.
But now, my most hated adaptation of anything, and it's not a film adaptation, it's actually a TV adaptation. You could bring many of these up. Life on Mars, adapted by the Americans, was terrible. The Office, I really don't like the American version.
I didn't like that one.
But the one that I despise the most...
Don't say it, man. Don't say it. No, do not go there. Do not go there to that cancelled series. No. No, crap, he's going to say it. He's going to say it.
The In-Betweeners. Yes, the American version of The Inbetweeners. This was a bona fide train wreck.
Can we please censor Inbetweeners USA whenever we mention it from now on?
Yes, I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Will is attractive and not nerdy. Jay is fat.
Oh my god, and the most annoying character I've ever seen on screen. And Neil
was just there.
Neil, what have they done to Neil?
He's no longer the same dumbass that he was.
Honestly, I can't even explain how bad it is. And when you actually watch clips, it's all carbon copies of the British show. You've got it when they go to Thorpe Park, they go to Six Flags. I think it's Six Flags. But it's like they copy situations which work in the British world, but they're completely foreign to an American market. They don't have a clue.
The biggest problem as well is Jay. And it's not just that he's fat. Part of his humour was like just saying stuff like then you can put your hand in the clunge. Like he used words that works well in British humour. And it doesn't work well in the USA. Like the USA's don't use words clunge, and let alone crude humour about sex and everything like that isn't tolerated as well in the USA than it is in the UK.
It's a lot more oriented with teens, because we can tell from our experiences that our teen years, there was a lot of that stuff going around, talking about sex in that sort of way.
Did you ever piss disabled people off at a theme park?
Unfortunately, yes. No, I didn't actually. I didn't do that sort of thing.
The worst part is, people that like the British version of The Inbetweeners, then there's actually some of those people in America. Even the Americans were slagging off the American version. If your own country is slagging off their own version, there is a bit of a problem.
But it's always been there. They did an American pilot of Red Dwarf, and all the Americans hated it. They don't learn their lesson. They just think, oh, that show's doing successful. Tell you what, let's just reshoot it with American cast.
For money.
Money.
But, there was a good reason why, I don't remember how many episodes in, but the American Inbetweeners did get cancelled.
Good. Just take every trace of it and bury it and shoot it into the sun. Like in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Another
I haven't seen that film in years. No, that film was awesome because I was a child and I loved it when I saw it.
Honestly, it's so bad. But yeah, Inbetweeners, that's my most hated adaptation. And bury it, kill it with fire.
I think we're running out of time here.
Yes.
So what I will say is, we're going to show you a special adaptation. The film version of how ReelTime came to be. An epic directed by Kyle Stewart and produced by Robert Smith.
Enjoy.
Boom.
This summer. Kyle! I got us an idea.
A great idea. What's up?
We're gonna do a YouTube series.
No. We can't do a YouTube series. Not after that traumatic experience.
He must tackle his past.
No. Not that day. Not the puppet show.
And this is why I'll defeat you, foul Piggalot.
And then they battled to the death.
Boo!
What do you mean? No. It was good.
Boo!
And fix the future.
Come on, give me 20 more, damn it!
Rob, what does this have to do with making YouTube videos?
Nothing whatsoever! Now I say 20!
Based on the incredible true story, starring Rob Smith and Kyle Stewart. ReelTime, a sort of a monster game. Directed by Michael Bay.